Well, at last, some of you might be saying, a railway related item. I mean, there are some railway related things around my room here, smaller scale and garden scale. And I've just had a little bit of a play trying to set up a DCC system so that it will run a garden railway which has got a chip in it. Now, clearly, the systems are very similar. The garden railway system and its chip. My friends who have garden railways tend to run something like Massouf, and occasionally you find these beautiful little models which have got sound and light in them, but I've only ever run analog in the garden up until now. So I wanted to experiment. I decided to attempt to modify or upgrade a Lenz DCC system, which is a quality DCC system, but this is a really, really old system. It's the LV101 and LZ100 and the digital controller, which are in this box here. And the way I've done that is I got from Amazon, delivered it this morning, one day with whatever it is, delivery, a power supply. It's the sort of power supply that's used for LED lighting, but also is found on 3D printers or inside 3D printers. Try and get the angle right there. So there we go, a railway related item with a tiny little bit of running as I do a test using this. The weather's not the best for running outside, so a long time since you've seen any railway running in my videos, but there is one today. Well, this is as far as I've got using the Lenz digital system for garden railway control. I've not learnt how to program the handset, but it is working, and I've driven something around the track. Are the lights still on? No, I've turned it down so the lights aren't on. Just click that up one. You'll see the lights come on and it goes. It's moving in one direction. But I've not got the functions working yet. Change direction. There we go, lights on. Lights off, lights on. And I'll just stop it. So I paused the video because what I did there was, instead of stopping this loco, I switched to another address, loco address. Remember, I've only ever been using analog out here in the garden. So what have I done? Well, this is a really old Lenz system. It's the LV101 as the booster and the LZ100. They are now only obtainable as a complete unit because they realized, well, you can't use the bottom one without the top one. You might as well put them in the same box. So I've adjusted the dip switch in here, as you see, to allow this to give out 22 volts. And I've got one of these 24 volt power supplies, switch mode power supplies, because it run off DC. So that's just 2 volts higher than this wants to give out to the track. And I've got a separate transformer for the bottom box, which is the controller box, because I'm not convinced I can run the bottom box off the 24 volts. And I don't want to risk damaging it, which means I've got 2 mains leads coming out. Anyway, my hope would be, oh, and I've put it into an old battery drill case. You'll see that I've had to cut out this blow molded case, the lining of the bottom part, but it's a nice size, and it means if I fix it in there, bit of sponge, the controller will go in, and there'll even be room for the cables and the computer interface and its cable. So the case is a good size, and it means it can be kept together, because already I'm at 5 parts, 5 components to this. Well, I'll keep looking at the groups and maybe post a message. Hope that I can run the bottom one off 24 volts, though that might not be possible. It might be easier because it's got plenty of grunt for this. It's a 10 amps at least is that, to just drop the voltage with a simple resistor, voltage dropper of some sort, to do away with the excess weight and need to use another transformer. I only want one mains lead. I've got 2 at the moment while I'm testing, and I'd like to mount, and I've ordered one, a kettle switch, a kettle socket with switch and fuse, and whatever case I use, and if it's this one, mount it into the outside so that you've got a switch and fuse local to your DCC control system, or whatever we call this for the garden railway. So there we go. It's my not quite budget, because you still have to buy this second hand, but if you have a second hand Lenz system, it does have the feature to increase its voltage to 22 volts, and I don't expect to be running lots of locos, so they're very restricted. At the moment I think that's just a 3 amp rating on there. I believe the newer ones are 5 amps, but 3 amps is probably going to be adequate, given that it's a well-engineered thing to run my locos. If I run out of power from it, then there are circuits from MERG for power boosters for DCC, and I can just have a further booster and hope that there'll be 2 that would run in parallel to boost the current output. Right, there we go, that's it. So far a successful test, but still lots to do to tidy it up and get it into a decent functional unit that I'm happy with. Oh, and then I've got to learn how to drive it as well. See which way it's going to go. It's going to go the other way. Pull it back, change direction, bring it back to me. There it comes. It is a sound loco, but as yet I don't know how to put the sound on. There we go, DCC control on the garden railway using a 00 or very multi-scale Lenz digital system.